Buddy the dog, what do you think? It rained again, so not going to be any field work action today. It's going to rain tonight, so there probably won't be any for a while again. Everybody who was asking about, you know, why aren't you out in the field? You know, you should be doing that. Well, I don't make the weather, so there's not a lot I can do. About the time it gets where it could be done, then it rains again. So that's fine. We got plenty other stuff we can entertain ourselves with. Cows are lounging about. So that's one good thing about the rain, I suppose, is it keeps the grass growing. I mean, yeah. So we're going to continue our work on customers' projects, continuing with this 7040 Allis Chalmers, and that's what we're going to do right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. 7040 Allis Chalmers. In the last one, we fixed a hydraulic leak on the opposite side, and so we're slowly tackling things on this list. Valve cover is going to be a big one because the whole side of the motor is just covered with crap. I've cleaned it up a little bit and been working at it, but he also seemed to think that there was another leak under here, and of course after looking at it, it's some covered with crap. It was piled up in between here. I couldn't find it. So I pulled that plate off. It's about an inch thick with trash. So we're gonna clean that up. There, it is wet, so you can tell something has been leaking. However, I did find, I think it's time for a new fuel line. Check out that. You know, not only is that still original, but it's just about wore through. So that's handy too. We're gonna have to find out where, I can't remember, that's just like oil resistant hose, and they probably have some on hand at the place that I worked at. And I think I can do it with it on here. I hope I don't have to pump all the fuel out. I don't remember how that goes. I think if you do a quick switch, I think you can do it, depending on how much fuel's in the tank. But I don't know, it may be just easier to pump it into buckets and go again, or a barrel. But we need to clean up all of this really well so we can determine what, if anything else, is leaking. And I'm thinking that something has to be, whether it's just worked itself loose, or whether like there's an O-ring fitting, if it, you know, has come loose. I also, and I don't know if I commented on that last time, but I'm really struggling with, should I replace this line or not? It is original, as evidenced by the paint, and it just feels like it's time. I mean, it looks like the others have been replaced in more recent times, but that one has not, so I don't know. Also, this hose is about wore through. A lot of these hoses have been sitting here just rubbing against each other, and that ain't very good either, you know. It's kind of important on these that you not have a leak, like I said before, because it'll get you. If you aren't paying attention, sadness can happen quick. So I thought I'd look under here. It does appear to be an oily mess, but the question's going to be, where's it coming from? It would have to come from, I'd say, multiple places. We'll clean it up real good and find out. Like, see, there's a stick or a weed or something, stuff that's gotten wedged up there over the years. But right now it's looking like fuel line definitely is getting replaced. I'm wondering if this is leaking, because it has fluid on it, and that's up higher than everything. That would drip into the pan or the skid plate. And it may be such a thing that, like, if this pump's leaking, he doesn't want to fix that right now, because that will open up a whole nother ball of sadness, and no more use than it gets. It may not be that important just yet, but we need to do some serious cleaning, and then I'll bring you back when I find whatever it is I find. But so far, definitely it's getting a fuel line, and quite possibly this hose, and quite possibly more of these hoses if they are in fact leaking. I mean, that's been replaced, but it's been a while ago, and it's rubbing on everything. So I don't know, it's just one of those situations I find myself in where you want to do the right thing, but how far do you go for the guy, you know? Because, you know, I don't want to just spend his money, but at the same rate, this is stuff that's going to need attention in the future. So we kind of just got to use our judgment, and then if we get into any big question, I'll call him and see what he wants to do. But we're going to have to start by cleaning it up no matter what. All right, it's still not as clean as I want it to be before we put it back together, but it is clean and dry enough now that if I start it up, I should be able to tell if something is leaking or not leaking, and what would need to be replaced, if anything. So that's kind of where we are here. Just looking it all over underneath. It's got a heck of a dent in the oil pan, so somebody at some point in this thing's life was doing something pretty aggressive with it. I wonder if that came from like bush hogging and something got flipped up and scrunched at. But I mean, that's a pretty aggressive dent there. So yeah, not worth replacing it or anything, I don't think. But it's amazing that, you know, it didn't knock it into something important inside. But because that would have taken quite the hit to do that, is what I'm saying. But anyway, I guess there's no time like the present. I'll fire it up and see if we can see anything that starts pouring oil or dripping oil or a continuous stream of oil. I suspect that this fitting is leaking, but I might be wrong on that. Time will tell. We just gotta... I'm also wondering if... Oh, that would be sad if that was the case, because that means everything would have to come out. But I'm also wondering if it's leaking from behind here, out of this compartment. We don't want that to be the case. Let's hope it's not. I saw a drip. That's leaking. All right, so here's what I've decided. That is, we are going to at least, well, we're just going to replace these two rubber lines. They both have issues in their own way. This one is leaking in here, and I feel like when they're under pressure, it's also leaking in the crimps when it gets warm. Not all the time, and they've got wear places it's not going to be long before we have issues. So normally what one would do is one would drain the oil underneath from this cast cover. However, I'm thinking a different approach. I don't know how well it's going to work. I'm not entirely sure that you have to drain the oil. That what I'm saying is that I think that you do, because I think it's going to come out from this return line as fast as you can go, but I'm not sure. So instead of trying to drain from underneath, I think if I just take that hose loose and put my bucket under there, it's going to go in there one way or the other, and then that's all that has to be done, because that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So that's what I'm going to try, and we're going to see. I've never done it that way before, but it might save me the hassle of pulling that bolt out from underneath, and I don't know. We'll just see what happens. There's nothing like, you know, taking the long way around instead of just doing it the correct way, you know? Like I said, I have no idea if this will work or not work. But what I do know is that we're going to try it anyway. Just raked some trash in there, so that's great. I'm thinking Arby's. No, I'm thinking that what I might ought do is make a total mess. No, what I'm thinking I might do is just replace this oil. I mean, we already replaced the filter, and now we've circulated dirty oil through it, but I don't know. It is, though, as I suspected. We're going to get it all, which should be between 5 and 7 gallons. But what I was thinking by doing it the way that I just did it was that maybe I wouldn't lose all the oil, that I'd only lose like 3 or 4 gallons of it maybe. Because, I don't know. Don't ask me why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. It just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. And it may not be. But what I do know is I just got oil all over my camera, so that's cool. Down into the housing even, so that it's coated. That's nice. All right, that should keep that pretty well under control. We're gonna take that one out. I do have my offset wrenches. I should probably just go get them. They're on the opposite side of the tractor. I should get me some more paper towels, because now I've made a mess on myself, see? Okay, well, I was gonna take that other line loose as well. That gigantic one. Do I want to do that now while we're here, or do I want to come back for it? Well, I don't know. Let's tip you up so you can watch the failure. I don't know if I can do this with you there, because like I said, narrow rows, that just don't play nice, you know, for nobody. Ouch. Well, the elbow torque wrench popped. So, that's nice. Maybe we need to try to get the other end loose first. Jeez. Let's go up here. We're gonna go, let's see. we actually need to use the offset wrench I just used a minute ago. We're gonna go like this, because why not, you know? Come on, you. There. I think we got her busted loose. Are we doing the right thing, guys? I don't know. I'm hoping so. I'm trying to be fair and methodical here, but I hope this one doesn't leak out the whole entire time, because that would be sad. That's what we're gonna find out. I don't think it will. Surely not. Are we succeeding? I don't know. We've got some lines loose. That's all that really matters. What I'm after here is I want them ready where tomorrow I can just come down here and grab them and not have to do anything really spectacular. But I gotta make sure they're not gonna leak the whole time either. See, it's possible that that one will leak the whole time. I don't know. I sure hope not. I might go see if I have some plugs, line plugs for these, but I don't know if I do. I don't think it matters. I think it's about empty. I need to take that clamp loose. And then we need to work under the hood, which will be difficult, but yeah, that's gonna stop, so we're good. But we're gonna have probably 9/16, I would say. Touch the lens so that it's, oh, it's 1/2 inch. It was just so covered with crap, it looked larger than it was. Will this go? Yes, it will. Come on, clamp. Yes, come on. Come on. Or not, or let's work twice as hard. That's fine too. We'll work twice as hard to put it back later. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right, so we're going to just hang this gently to keep the dirt out tonight. Or not, or not. I'm gonna put that there. Stick that one there. Let's stick that there. See, you realize what's taking place here is that it's nighttime. Everything's closed. So I want to be ready first thing in the morning to just be able to grab these off and, you know, go to town, get them made, slap them back on when we get home, and hopefully have this behind us, you know, to where we can have this maybe done for him tomorrow. But now we need to get to the back side of this valve to get those lines loose. So we're gonna probably be taking this orange side off. Luckily, they have it pretty simple. I mean, where the whole thing comes off as one. They were kind of the first ones with this idea of easily service, remove the whole side. So Down in there. Yeah. Can I go, is this 1 1/8? That one? I think it is. So then, we're gonna need the extra leverage. So we're gonna have to go that. You're in the way, so you're gonna have to move. I'm sorry, but there's just no way. I don't know what you can see and can't see, but you're just gonna have to live with it. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for this guy. All right, so here's where we stand. I think we probably got enough for a video, but I got all those lines loose that we need, so I can pull them out real quick tomorrow. I also think before it goes back together, I'm gonna pull out all the fittings out of this clutch valve and put new O-rings on them, because I suspect that especially this top one here, if you can see it with the 90°, I think it's leaking a little, and that's why this whole valve was covered with trash. So if I do that, that'll solve that. I also think that hose was probably leaking on this end. It was leaking on the other end, so, you know, both ends were leaking. So we get that done. I'm hoping that all of the hydraulic and, you know, transmission oil issues are behind us. And then that will leave us to tackle this valve cover, which still needs some cleaning before we take it apart, or we're gonna have a tremendous amount of trash in there. So we'll get that cleaned up before we do that. I got the gasket, and then I'm hoping that it will be done. The only thing we need to do underneath, other than put the hoses on, is clean that plate off and do that. When we do the valve cover, he sent along stuff to change the engine oil, so we'll do that. And then I think we might, you know, have it made where we're ready to go and turn this sucker into $100 bills, because that's my favorite part, you know. I got a lot of money invested in parts and time on this right now, so it would probably be cool to make that happen, you know. So that's where we'll leave this one. I'll bring you back when we get the new stuff, and we'll start putting her back together, and hopefully we're on the downhill slide. So that's where we'll leave this one. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment. And that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.